Welcome back to TeeDogCustoms, to another video. We'll jump right in here. On the Jeep, when I first did the whole build and I was tearing it down, I ripped out all the audio. So there were 3 amps. There was no sub in it, but there were 3 amps. 2 were going to speakers, and then 1 was going to a sub. However, I have been this whole time without any sub or speakers pretty much. Now I have been using these speakers up front. They are aftermarket speakers and they do pretty well, but I'm just missing the full sound. So today we are going to solve that, try to find a spot to cram this. It may be back here. It might be right back here. It might be back down there on the floor. Who knows? But the good thing is that when I ripped all this out, it had loads of wiring, RCA cables, stuff like that. So here you go right there. So we're set on wiring, and if you've ever shopped for kits, those can be pretty expensive. I've got loads and loads of big power ground RCAs, antenna wire for the amp to turn on, stuff like that. So we're just gonna dive in. I want to make sure that the amp works. I know there's a fuse under here. I'm pretty sure this fuse is busted, blown, so I'm gonna replace that. Then we'll kind of dive into all what needs to happen if you're wanting to do this to your Jeep as well. It's very easy. It just, to do it cleanly, you really need to take your time in routing wiring and make sure you have long enough cables to kind of do it so it can be clean and presentable. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So it works out good because the battery's right there, and if you look down there, I have a little hole going through the firewall, so it'll work out good, and we shouldn't take too long to do this. But this is where we find ourselves. Power cable, the fuse is out, it's right there, but get your thing all ready. Ran it through the firewall, and I have it just kind of I think I'm gonna run it right through here. I think it will be the most practical. Now I have my RCA and my antenna wire, which is for the sub to power the to power the amp. Okay, so I've got that loomed up together right here. So I've got the cheap head unit out, and you can see on the back we've got RCAs right here. These will be for the sub. That will run from the amp though. They will go directly to the amp right over here. I will go over on wiring that up in a second once we get to that part. Now there's this clip right here, which most have, and then one of these wires, I think it's the one with this on here, because that unit came out of my truck. That should be the antenna wire that we will connect that one to. So once we get that connected and hooked up, all the rest of the work is going to be back here. Now I think I figured out what I'm going to do. If you notice, this is actually a very nice sub box, and I think it's a pretty good sub as well. It's 10-inch. It's not huge, but it should pump pretty good. And I think it'll fit right here, just like this. I'll have it face down because this is like bed line, and it's really crazy, but because these little stands keep it off from touching the ground, I think it's made for this kind of application, to like pop it in like this. Anyways, we'll do that. We've got the wiring over here. I may flip it around so the wiring's on this side and kind of protected, if that makes sense. So I think that's the plan. And then what we'll do is we'll stick the amp under the seat, and that's how it was when I got the Jeep. 3 amps were under the seat. So it's pretty straightforward, guys. There's really not much. Yeah, let me plug the antenna in. I don't know why the antenna is not plugged in, to be honest. Can't remember why, but anyways, let me plug that in while we have it, and then we'll get started on this, and I'll show you guys exactly how I'm going to route everything. Typically, let me start off by saying I'm not an audio expert. I don't really know much. I don't know how to really tune it well, anything like that. So do not come to me asking for tuning advice, or hey, you're doing this wrong, you should do it like this. You might be correct, but I do know one thing. You're not supposed to technically run your RCA and your power cable the same route. Technically, you're supposed to run them, like in a vehicle, in my truck and stuff, I ran them on opposite sides. So RCAs go down one area, a power cable went around the other to the amp is what I'm talking about. Well, I'm running them together. They are in separate loom, and that may make a difference, but technically, if you're talking probably best sound quality, or I don't even know what it affects, to be honest. I just know that everyone says don't run them together. So if you can, on your application, don't. I have run them together before and it's been fine, and I'm gonna do it again now, but don't do it. Before I get everything done, I'm going to take the amp and the sub and make sure that the sub works, because I haven't tried that. Make sure the amp works as well, because I haven't tried that. But this is time to hook this in. So let me show you what we did. Here's the antenna wire. So that just crimped it in. We've got the RCAs. These will go in. You will put red to red, and the black will go to the white one. And then this one is for video. There's a camera that goes with this, but I don't have that wired in. And that, after you plug this in, trying to do this with one hand. All right. Technically, that's all we got to do technically. So let's go ahead and grab this. We'll come back here. Now I would mount the amp like this, but again, excuse me, I use this for family. If I have all that taken up by just the stupid sub, sorry I said stupid, but it kind of is, and if I do that, that's just too much real estate taken up. Nothing would lay flat on here, and it would just be a pain. And I have all this space under here that's being wasted. So I am going to mount it under the seat. But before we do that, let's grab this clump of wires and come on. Have to go wrap around. Too short. Okay. And we'll need this. Whoa, that was close. Almost lost my monster. I'm hoping you guys can see me, what I'm doing here, because I kind of need two hands. But we got this RCA will plug into right here. So let's see here. We've got input. Go to here. All right. So we're plugging these RCAs, I believe, into the input. I don't know, to be 100% sure. I could be wrong. Okay, and then on this side, we're going to have your speakers. So we've got positives. Now, I think, I can't remember, but I think you bridge these. So instead of, because I believe this is considered like a 2-channel, but I think if you do one negative over here and positive over here, I think that's the correct way to do it. But we'll find out, and you know, you'll find out in this video for sure. Oh, ha! So stupid. Anyways, that comes off. It almost stumped me. Now you have access to your Allen keys. Something that I did forget about too is we need a ground. So we're gonna have to run one of these wires, one of these cables to a ground. That's no problem. It's just what we gotta do here. This antenna wire is actually, they consider it remote too. So under here it says remote. So that's where this will go. Alright. Got the RCA in already. Here is the power wire. This is running from your battery. So this one goes in the 12-volt power. So this is what it looks like so far. We've got remote, your 12-volt coming from your battery, and then your ground is going to go here and then to a ground. So you're going to want a big ground wire. Let's get on that right now. All right, got the ground. This again was a ground cable that came in the Jeep when I bought it. So I saved everything because I was like, you know, one day I'm gonna do this, and if I don't keep it all, it's gonna be kind of expensive. All right, I'll probably replace it, but for now that'll work. All right, so all we got to do now, hook up our ground. Got speaker wire here. Now, if this works, I may put some bigger speaker wire in because it's going to the sub, but I just want to make sure it actually powers on and works. All right, guys, everything is hooked up except for the power cable. So we're gonna put the fuse in and then connect this all up. Got it hooked up. just putting the fuse in, you slide it in. The absolute moment of truth is right here. So let's put the keys in. Turn it on. Let's come back here. No power light. That's not good. That's not good. Okay, but we don't have any power here either. So no power there means that that would not be getting power either. So let me dive into that real quick. All right guys, so what the issue was is I just had to turn the on button. I guess when the battery goes off, you have to automatically turn it on. So now you can see we got power back here. So let me just find some music real quick and see if this thing actually works. So I just wanted to touch bases again. I did wrap everything up and it is working. Because of copyright issues, I'm not going to test the sub out, but this is what the final install looks like. I took my daughter, so I can't show you under there right now, but this is it. I ended up drilling a hole here because it was making noise where the wires go. So I drilled this hole, stuffed it with some insulation, and it works really, really well. The install was really clean. This is what it looks like. I still need to just finish wrapping up some of the wiring, but it came out excellent. Well, that is probably going to wrap this video up. I did also replace a power steering pump on my F350 because, as you know, we're headed out to Florida with the F350 full of my cousin's junk, and we're taking the gooseneck, the Jeep, and a sandblaster that is also in my garage, which is my cousin's. So we're gonna do that next week. We leave the 11th, so it's just kind of been a mad dash to get everything done, but thank you guys for watching. I do really appreciate it, and if you're subscribed to me, I also appreciate that. And let's reach the 1,000 subscriber mark. We're very close, and I know we can do it, and we're gonna have a lot of Jeep content. If you're on the channel for the Jeep stuff, you know, you're really gonna like the next 3-4 videos that come out. So thank you guys for watching. As always, keep grinding. Peace.